morning. John Arbor on piano. Who's here?
The way I see it, he said you just can't win it. Everybody's in it for their own gain. You can't please them all. There's always somebody calling you down.
I'm making my tea. Hey, Jeanette. Good morning.
There's a lot of people asking for my time.
Good morning.
They're trying to get ahead. They're trying to be a good friend of mine.
Elon. Samuha.
I was a free man.
Jenna sings Jenna.
I felt unfettered and alive.
Hi, Joe.
There was nobody calling me up for favors.
Good morning, Jim.
No one's future to decide. You know I'd go back there tomorrow, but for the work I've taken
I'm just going to
stuck in the
get my tea.
maker machinery
It
behind
is.
the popular song.
It is a lovely morning. Good morning, Carla. Hi, Emily. Hey, I miss you. Hey, Lynn. Nice to see your name, Bob Peak. Taking my vitamins. Here comes Lily and
I
Pearl.
deal in dreamers until the bones
Good morning, Julie.
freeze. Lately I
I'll be right
wonder
back.
what I'd do it for. If I had my way,
Hi, Lily and
I'd
Pearl.
just walk through
Hi,
those
baby girl.
doors
Come here.
and wander
Come here.
out on the Champs-Elysees.
She slept in her clothes last night. She's getting into the
Thinking how I feel when I find
sipping quite well.
that very good friend
Isn't that beautiful?
of mine.
Louisiana artist.
I was a
Hi, Jeff.
free man in Paris. I felt unfettered and alive.
Go lay down on your couch.
There was nobody
Be right
calling
back.
me up for favors, and no one's future to decide. You know I'd go back there tomorrow, but for the work I've taken on, stuck in the star maker machinery behind the popular song.
Mr. John Arbor on piano. That's off of our Moonlight Ladies record. It's a James Taylor record, and women who he slept with. Well, you know, that's just an assumption. I never said that. Who's here? Pretty top. In the Flower is awesome. It's a dress, actually. Good morning, Rob Skibby. Good morning, Miranda Skibby. Who am I missing here? Dayton DeVore. Wow. Patty Tie-Dye, David Saltzman, Alan Norton. Are you playing? Good morning. I had to get my tea. I was running because I took a bath, and it was a rainy day, and I was up late. Who else was up late? Today we have Jenna Mammina back in the house. Well, she's in her house in New Orleans. I'm in a house in Michigan. And who is here the second that I'm not saying hi to? Good morning, Kim. Hi, Jenna. I bought this at Jazz Fest. No, I didn't. I take that back. This piece was bought here in Michigan by my dear friend Susie Blair. She gifted it to me. She said, when she handed it to me, she said, "Happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy Easter, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday," And then I've purchased a couple more pieces of his, and his name is, I'm going to get it right later. I'll keep it up, and then I'll tell you about it later. Good morning, Cousin Sandy. You were up till 4, Jim? So, how many are hungry for eggs this morning? Diane Bond in Orlando. What's happening? So I was trying to think of, I was thinking, have I ever performed a song that has the word egg in it? But I don't think I have. Susan Diedrich, hello. Mary, hello. Eggs. Oh, this piece? Yeah, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, happy birthday. Yeah. But I have smaller ones out in my hallway, out in the stairway. And I thought today I needed to have some art from New Orleans, because I have other art from New Orleans. So each day, in fact, one of the artists that I love, Vance Vargas, who has Dirty Boys down in the Quarter, is going to be a guest, and I will have a piece of his art on display sometime. Oh, fixing eggs for us right now. So let's not take any more time, because your husband might want to take a moment and listen to tips from Gina. We have to come up with a name for this segment of our show. Let's see. FaceTime.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you? Every day I always go, I just need to get a little tripod, but it just hasn't happened yet. So I am the human tripod. This is Chef Jenna Mammina, and she is going to talk eggs.
Yeah. So, we're going to make some eggs. So, I'm going to make an omelet. One of the things that I think is a common misconception is that to make eggs, you got to do it in a nonstick pan. What you really need is, you can, but I have a problem with Teflon because it tends to be a little toxic.
It's toxic, and you scrape it, and people are like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm like, I would rather eat a boiled egg. Everyone's saying hi to you, including Jim. Jim's saying hi. My friend Dennis. There's people from coast to coast on here right now, and I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to.
Oh.
And Gina tell them where you have chefed it from New York to San Francisco, if you don't mind, a little bit. Give us a background.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah, like back in the '80s, New York City and San Francisco, New Orleans, Atlanta, New York again, Boston, Maine. Was a culinary instructor for 7 years for Cordon Bleu. All over the place. Now I'm back in New Orleans, which is where I live now with my husband, and he's a chef too.
Yeah, and every night they're making these fabulous. I'll call them. So what are you making tonight? Oh,
Yeah, yesterday was fried trout. Today.
It's not just an egg. It's not just eggs anymore.
Right.
I'm getting a.
But eggs are one of my favorite things to cook because I love to eat them, and they're easy and they're cheap, and I have chickens, so I have a lot of them.
Oh,
usually.
Okay. What do you feed your chickens?
Everything. I kind of use them as my composter. I seriously feed them everything. Bread, veggies, scraps, and of course cracked corn is the go-to feed. But yeah.
Thank you. Okay, yeah. So now that I've interrupted your cooking enough, and I have my tea here, please continue.
So I've got the thing is, I'm holding my phone while I'm doing this, but I do have a thing set up over my stove that my son uses for his virtual piano lessons. So I have to put the phone down and kind of do everything, so you won't be able to see me, just my hands.
Okay. And I'm going to put you down for a minute because I just see that I'm on a low battery here. So we'll all be right back.
Okay.
Diane Bond. So my friend, that husband was making eggs, just stopped so he could find out. He could learn from the chef. But I'm plugging in over here. We're all doing our best here. So Gina and I knew each other, but we didn't know each other. How do we say that? We were breathing the same air in many different cities in the world.
Story. Okay, I flipped it, but I think I did the wrong thing. Hang on. All right.
And I'm plugged in.
All right, this is what I want. Here we go.
There's the pan. Notice it's not a non-stick pan, everybody.
All right. Can you actually see it?
Yeah. Yeah, much better. Right there. Boom.
Okay.
Can you guys see that? Let me know if you guys out in the world are getting a good...
Can you see it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's a better way. I'm going to... I'm just going to... Okay. I'm going to make you basically be the frame of the... Yeah.
We good? I thought so, because I didn't think it was out there. All right, so.
Maybe if I turn this light off, it might be better. A little bit. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Jim says it looks good.
All right, great. So, single most important thing is making sure that your pan gets hot enough.
Can you tell us what brand stainless you're using?
This is a stainless pan. It's an all-clad pan. And if all-clad ever wants a spokesperson, I'm your girl. Because I believe in all-clad. And you don't need a lot of pans. You only need a couple. Any single person doesn't need more than 4 or 5 different good pans. You could cook anything in the world with 4 or 5 good quality, different sized pans. It's not quantity, it's quality. So this is an 8-inch stainless steel all-clad pan. I've had it for over 20 years, probably 25 years. And maybe 20. And it's perfect. It is the perfect pan. Now, got my eggs, right? When you cook eggs, it often helps to add a little bit of water to the eggs because it makes them fluffy. Not a lot, 2 or 3 drops.
Now, I've heard soda water.
What's that?
I've heard soda water.
I guess if you have it, but I don't have soda water, but I've got lots and lots of regular water. I don't know that there's a difference between using soda water and not. But
that is my question.
I know everybody's got water coming out of their tap, unless you live like somewhere really, really in the sticks.
And you have your pan on pretty high? You have the
should be about 3/4 heat. The pan should be about 3/4 heat. I mean, the flame underneath it. So what I do is I always start with oil, and I'm using some extra virgin. You want to be sure it's hot, but not too hot. You put in some oil, and it should be wavy, not too smoky. You see how that's like got some, see the waves, and it's smoking a little? That's just where you want it, right there, not too smoky. And we put in our eggs.
My friend Diane just asked, can you overbeat the eggs?
They won't stick because they are cooking in the oil before they hit the pan. If you don't get your pan hot enough, the raw protein will hit the pan and stick. But because it's hot enough, that's not happening. I don't usually flip my omelets for me. My son likes them more cooked, so I flip. There we go. I'll flip this. Lay in a little bit of cheese. A little bit of ham, Swiss cheese and ham. What's not to like? 1 piece of ham should do for me. I'm not a big ham eater. Turn off the heat at this point to be sure that it doesn't overcook. I'm a tarragon fan, and I'm going to put a little bit in here.
Oh, I love tarragon and eggs. Ooh.
And then...
Oh, and you roll it. You didn't just fold it in half.
Every time.
I'm getting a weird glare here. I'm trying.
Just like to put it over the top and make a sheen, like Wolfgang Puck does that. It's really nice, especially if you're in a restaurant. But this is for me, and I'm trying not to gain weight. So there's our omelet. Very simple.
Beautiful.
No need for Teflon pan. So flip it around. Okay, there we are.
So it's beautiful. Thank you so much. So
Sure. So
my
questions? Anybody has questions?
one was, can you overbeat the eggs?
Yes, you can overbeat them. They should be, broken up, somewhat homogeneous, but you can. It just kind of starts to break down the protein structure. I mean, just like anything else, if you can overpound a piece of meat, you can over whisk an egg. Absolutely. So just enough to get it broken up, integrated, the white and the yolks together, but not overly done.
And when you were talking, I saw that, but the wave, you said, talk about the wave and the oil.
Okay, the wave and the oil. The oil should be wavy, but not too smoky. So if it's not wavy, it's not hot enough. So when you tilt the pan and you tilt it around a little bit, it should show waves, like soft waves. And you can start with a cold pan and put oil in it and wait for the waves to come. You don't have to preheat it, but I didn't want to waste people's time, so I got my pan hot early. But yes, that's very important. And if it gets too hot and the oil starts to smoke too much, throw away the oil, wipe down the pan, and start over, because that oil will be burn tasting and denatured, and just start all over again.
What about milk?
You can put milk in the eggs too, but again, just not too much. Milk has a lactose in it, which is like a sugar, and it can make it burn. But milk is fine. I mean, any little bit of liquid, just don't add too much. Milk, cream, soda water, if you like water, just a little bit of something.
I've put a little bit of yogurt in, and
Sure.
And then I knew someone that did it with mayonnaise. And again, people are asking what kind of oil. Do you always use olive oil?
That's what I have close to the stove. So yes, that's what I tend to use. You could use any. I mean, you can also do it with butter. I mean, butter works. It's just that has the milk solids in it, and again, it can burn. But I often add butter to it. I didn't have butter close to the stove.
Do you ever just use butter?
Yes. Yes, I do. But I like to start with the oil. I like the flavor, frankly. I'm an olive oil person.
I love olive oil. Oh,
yes.
Jim thinks he might be using too much milk. So you said 2 or 3 drops of water.
Really, it doesn't take much. Yeah, literally, I get my hand wet and shake my hand into the eggs, just like drops. It doesn't take much. Less than a half a teaspoon. I mean, seriously, like a little.
And you could, and what if you mix olive oil and butter in the pan, but then would the waves still happen with the butter?
Yeah. I mean, looks a little different, but yeah, definitely. When I make the omelets, sometimes I'll start with the oil and then add the butter, just because the butter has such good flavor as well. It's just more of that going on. I do it when I make it for my son, because he's 15 and needs more calories than I do.
And what kind of potato? How do you do your potatoes? I like sweet. I like to mix my potatoes, but do you cook them first in any way before you fry them up?
I do. Yeah, I like to cut them first raw, boil them until they are tender but not soft, and then cook them in, like if you're making a hash brown or whatever, cook them in the oil or the fat or the whatever you choose to do it in, butter. Yeah, definitely. I like, when I do them, I do like onions, mixed peppers, which is, red and green and whatever other colors you like, lots of spices, garlic, and get them, again, it's all about the heavy pan. You got to use a heavy pan. It doesn't matter if it's cast iron, stainless steel, and my recommendation is, get pans you can put in the oven. So no plastic handles. That stuff is right out the door. Anything, because a lot of times working in a restaurant, you have to begin things on a stove and put them into the oven. So because, you have to keep going and making more and more food. So definitely heavy pan, because that's how you get that good color. And where there's color, there's flavor, like everything in life,
When
right?
there's color, there's flavor. I love that. That's so true.
I'm saying. You heard it here first.
Thank you, Gina. What are you having in your cup there?
I have a wonderful tea, a Rishi, R-I-S-H-I-T, Rishi tea, that is a peppermint sage. It is the bomb. It is the best tea I've ever had. It has ruined me.
I always like to ask what other people are drinking out there about this time. I have I always say it wrong. Rooibos. It's an African tea, rooibos tea,
Okay, yeah, I've heard of it. I've never had it. What's it like?
I love it. It's my friend Dave and Ruth Love sent me some, and so I've been dabbling in that more and more. And I do my lemon water in the morning and throw a little ginger in. Lately, I've been doing a lot more ginger. I use ginger medicinally, so I'm not an everyday ginger person.
Right.
Like I don't even care much for ginger in a sushi restaurant because I associate it with medicine.
Interesting.
But
I've done a lot of like ginger, lemon, honey, hot tea, like no tea bags or anything, just no tea leaves, just sliced up fresh ginger, squeezed lemons, and local honey. It's
Jim's having coffee from Hawaii. Ricci is RICI, isn't it?
RISHI.
RISH. Yeah.
You can look it up online and get it delivered. I buy it commercially because I work at a school doing school food service now. So I buy it by the case, but you can buy it by the box. I think it's online. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, it is really good
All
stuff.
their flavors are exceptional.
How many kids, if you were cooking this week, how many children would you be cooking for? And who's cooking for them now? Are you doing any outreach?
No, I work at a Catholic high school, and we have been closed now for, I think this is our third week. But there are over 880 students in the school and 130 faculty and staff. So we cook for all of them every day. Not everybody eats, but most of them do. So I've got a staff of 5 people.
And it's not just your average lunch. You're not a lunch food lady. You're making...
It's pretty great. I work for a company called Sage Dining, and we specialize in fresh food, high quality, clean recipes, clean ingredients, from scratch as much as possible. And there are lots of options and choices. It's sort of like going to a really high quality food court. In a way, for the kids, they can choose between different things. We do a lot of fresh food, grab and go, cold things, as well as a full hotline and stuff that's more like from a food truck type of, casual. So fresh soups each day. It's how everyone should be eating.
Yeah,
it's nice. Make sure the kids get it.
That's wonderful. I know here in Michigan and St. Joe, they've been, and I'm not sure if they're still able to do it or not, but they were providing lunches, to-go lunches for the kids.
Yeah, they're doing that here too in New Orleans for the public schools.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There hasn't been any plan for that for the private schools, but the public schools are doing meal distribution. I think that they're down to 2 days a week, but they are giving food for a total of 5 days, so the kids get the same amount of food that they normally would.
I mean, because many people, that's where they get their food.
Yeah, I was a food service director at the food bank here for over 3 years as well, and that was our big mission, was making sure kids who relied on school lunch over the summer also had meals, and during the evenings when there was no meals. So that was we did over 550,000 meals a year for that when I was there.
Wow. So, okay, I'm just going to ask, what's on the menu for today?
I'm so glad you asked. My husband just picked up a big old sack of crawfish, and we are going to have a crawfish boil at our house for us, my husband and I, 3 kids.
How fun.
So, usually it's sad because usually when you have a crawfish boil, and last year when I turned 50, we had a huge crawfish boil for my birthday. So that's coming up, and it's sad that we can't do that, but it's great that we can still boil crawfish, but it'll just be for us.
What time is that happening?
As soon as we get our burner back from a friend, we just realized that we left our burner at someone else's house. So my husband's got to go fish it out of somebody's yard. But that's probably going to happen. It takes, it takes a while because we got to clean the pot, we got to hook up the propane, and because my chickens have been roosting on top of the pot, so that's got to get cleaned first of all. I think he just did that. And it takes about, you bring it to the boil, you put the crawfish in, then they have to soak for about an hour anyway in it, and it takes some time. So we're looking at maybe 1 or 2.
Maybe we could do a live call around that time, and so I can see the crawfish laid out. I would love to. I haven't been to a boil in a while, but I could use a little New Orleanian crawfish boil today.
Really, they're all really big right now, and it's like everybody wants to, but nobody can have a big shindig. It's like time.
Well, good on you guys for doing it, and thank you so much for the omelet lesson. I'm going to practice. I know that other people said they go, I know what I'm going to do with my all-clad today.
It's good, yeah. Try it out, and same principle for everything. That's the single most important thing you can do in your cooking is get your pan hot enough if you don't want it to stick. Whether you're frying fish or sauteing a steak or whatever it is that you're making, you have to get your pan hot enough. That's the number one rookie move that I see all the time in people, both people that profess to be chefs and people that don't.
How do you know when it's hot enough?
Wavy, not too smoky. That's the rule. That's all I can say is you'll know it when you see it. The oil should be wavy, but not too smoky. If it's too smoky, it's too hot, it's burned, it'll taste bad.
Can I ask you one more question? I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to go to salmon really quick because I'm cooking a piece of salmon today. And I'm always, I do it in a cast iron. I want to make sure it's hot enough.
Right.
How many minutes on each side, and do you do the skin first or second?
Skin first. How many minutes depends on the size of the piece of the fish. If it's closer to the tail end, it's going to take less time.
It's middle. It's a good chunk.
It depends on how much you like it cooked. I mean, the truth is, I wouldn't do it more than 3 to 4 minutes on
good. Yeah, I do 3. Okay. I have a little timer for 3, and I do 3.
It's
3
less
to 4.
about time than texture. Start with the skin side is what I do because I eat the skin. The skin is like a crispy cracker. It's wonderful. Start with the skin down. Make sure that and give it a little press using a spatula. This is my, where is my magic spatula? I have a magic spatula. I've got like 5 of them. They're all the same. Where is it? Is it in the dishwasher?
I need a magic spatula.
It's because it's super thin and it's like a blade. I use it all the time.
It's got a blade on it. Okay.
So it's not a blade really. This is just my magic spatula. They're about $7, $8 online. I don't even know what's the brand. Let me look it up. Endurance, made in China. But it's perfect. And I mean, I buy these by like 10 at a time because they last if you don't abuse them. But being in a restaurant, they get abused. They last a pretty long time, and they unstick things that are starting to stick. They get underneath it. They're the best. It's the best spatula ever.
Do you travel with your spatula?
If I traveled, I would bring my spatula.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And you can get it on an airplane.
You can even with that edge,
it's not a blade. It's just thin, like a blade.
But it's still a great weapon.
No, not even. It's a simple little piece of metal. It almost looks like I made it in my backyard. I swear they're so simple, but it's the best tool. I've been using that style of spatula again over probably. I'm not lying. I'd say 30 years. I don't know. It's crazy. Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And the name of the name that you think it is again? Sorry.
I think it says Endurance on it. Endurance 18/10 stainless. There's not much to it, but it's the greatest tool ever. The magic spatula.
The magic spatula. Thank you, Miss Jenna Mammina.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. And we need to do this. Let's think of, maybe I'm going to ask people what other foods they would be interested in.
Totally. Yeah.
And then we can do that.
If I can get the product, I'll cook it.
Okay. So I'm going to call you back later. You call me when you're doing the crawfish. Please?
Will do.
Okay.
You got it.
All right.
Have a great one.
I love you. Thank you.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Bernita. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Wasn't that great? It was wonderful. I loved it. She's just such a cool person to hang with too in life, and we would be getting ready to see each other tonight. Actually, Rolf and I were supposed to play at the Livery in Benton Harbor, which meant we were going to be playing somewhere last night and tonight, and tomorrow we would be writing together and hanging out. You know, we were all supposed to be somewhere. Something was going to be happening in our lives. Hi, Marina. Anyway, I'm happy that you're all here today, and I think I will get Gina back up here. Definitely. Definitely. Thank you very much, Bernita. Thank you very much. I used your lighter today to light my candle, and I am just looking up something right now online. I was going to look up the spatula, but I forgot what she said. Do you remember, Jim? Anybody? Gina, what's the kind of spatula it is again? Come on, somebody. We'll get it if we don't get it today. So you guys, what else do you want to learn how to cook? What do you want to master? Endurance spatula. I'm just looking up not endurance spatula. I'm going to look up the Endurance magic spatula. Since I can't be with him today, Ralph Sturm on guitar. Have a great day, guys. See you tonight. Ralph Sturm. Stella by Starlight. See ya. 11:11 tonight.